Hey, what's up, everybody? Scott Spreitzer here, DocSports.com. Joe's versus Pros video. We're going to do this the rest of the NFL season. It's something I used to do at ESPN on Saturdays with Dari Noka and Mel Kiper, and then on Sundays in the NFL with Kevin Winter. And we're going to continue to do these throughout the course of the season. If you guys like these videos, and you can click on the like button, we sure do appreciate when you do. And also subscribe so you don't miss any of the guys' videos. I've got a bunch of videos up, as does everybody, over at DocSports.com for the weekend. If you're watching this before 3 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday, you can still get my 7-star in college. I have 6 plays going Saturday, Sunday, and Monday Night Football combined. 7-star at 3 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, 6-star in Sunday's NFL. Altogether, 6 plays to go Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and football. And you can see the run there, 89 and 59, up over $10,000. And also, we're aiming for our 4th straight top play sweep in college and pro football if you want to jump on board with football or any other sport for that matter. Again, this is something I used to do with the guys at ESPN on the weekends in football, and we're going to start doing it here because, again, I like suggestions, and a couple of folks suggested on my X or Twitter page about doing these again and bringing them back. And as of Friday afternoon at about 7 p.m. Eastern time, I'm going to give you where the numbers are according to the books that I talked to. And we're going to we're just going to talk about where the sharps and the public differ. And if we find something that's overwhelmingly one-sided by both the sharps and the public, we'll definitely let you know. But going to read these as I got them, everybody. And here's one right out of the blocks on Sunday evening, the Falcons and the Niners. And the Falcons are the sharp side and the public side. According to the book, the public is over 70% backing the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons also getting sharp money. So that's one of those overwhelming agreements by the pros and the Joes that I wanted to mention. Here we go as we knew. We knew this on Sunday night last week on the Scott and Scott show that the Dolphins and the Cleveland Browns would be a potential Joes versus pros game, and it certainly is. I used to do a daily show on ESPN Radio Las Vegas where we would talk about Browns games, of course, every week with every other game, and it seemed like every single week for a few years, sharp money on Cleveland, public money on the opponent, and the public money won a lot more than they lost. And here's a case of public versus sharp. Right now, as you can imagine, the Cleveland Browns are getting the sharp action like crazy, but the public money is on Miami, and we're talking over 65% of the public action has come in on the Dolphins. I happen to agree with the sharps in this particular game. We got another Joes versus pros, the Eagles and the Vikings. The Vikings are the sharp side. The Philadelphia Eagles getting about 60% of the public action. I have no play in this one. It's kind of like if J.J. McCarthy was going to play, I would have probably backed the Eagles, and he may still go. No new report as of Friday afternoon, but I'm going to leave this one alone, the Eagles and the Vikings. Next up, looking down the card here, another big agreement between the sharps and the public in the Commanders-Cowboys game in Dallas. Dallas getting the sharp action. They're also getting over 65% of the public action. So the public and the sharps in agreement on the Dallas Cowboys over Washington, another game that I'm not going to be involved in. Texans and Seahawks, another one, sharps and public in big agreement. The public 62% on the Seahawks, the sharp action coming in on Seattle. Should go back to that Dallas game for just a moment. There was big money, according to one book, placed in that game on the Dallas Cowboys late in the week. As far as everything else, we've got big overwhelming support from both sharps and public on the New England Patriots minus the points over Tennessee. I disagree with the sharps and the public in this one. 3rd straight roadie for the Patriots, but they're getting the sharp action. They're also getting about 70% of the public action. Tampa Bay and Detroit, Joes versus pros. Looks like the Joes or the public are backing Baker Mayfield here, over 70% of the public action on Tampa Bay plus the points. Sharp action coming in on the Detroit Lions in this one. Continue moving down. Let's see. We've got Carolina over the Jets. That's a Joes and pros agreement. Carolina getting all the sharp action. They're also getting about 65% of the public money. I lean that way on Carolina. I'm not involved in that game at this point. We've also got little Joes versus pros here, the Giants and the Broncos in Denver. The Broncos getting the sharp action, the public over 70%. They're in love with Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo. I happen to agree with the sharps on this one. Again, Denver, the pros play, and the Giants, the public play. Denver, the pros play. Giants, the Joes play. Again, I'm reading these as I'm getting them across my screen. And that's it as far as Joes versus pros and big agreements between the Sharps and the public. And I hope you like these kind of videos. If you do, again, we'll be doing this each and every week. And my best bet, by the way, on this report is the Packers and Cardinals doing battle. Cardinals getting 7 from Green Bay and about half the books as of Friday afternoon, 6.5 from others. Shop accordingly. Like the points here with Arizona for the second straight week. You got Green Bay 0-1-1 on the road. They escaped Cleveland by a 13-10 final. And of course, a few weeks ago, that Sunday night tie against the Dallas Cowboys. Kyler Murray's questionable as of Friday afternoon. Did a show in Phoenix on Friday and still reported as questionable, which means Jacoby Brissett may play in this one. I don't care which quarterback plays in this one. I like Arizona plus the points. Brissett, by the way, had several big plays in that game against Indianapolis, and they led the Colts outright with about 5 minutes to go. Lost the game outright, but covered the spread. This Arizona team's 2-4, but they're 9 points from 6-0. I think they get the job done this week as far as hanging another number. Packers a little bit battered and bruised. Josh Jacobs, as of Friday afternoon, listed as questionable with a calf injury. My best bet on this report is the Arizona Cardinals plus the points over the Green Bay Packers. Again, if you like these videos, Joes versus pros, be sure to click on the like button. Be sure to subscribe. I'm Scott Spreitzer, DocSports.com. Let's put them in the win column, everybody.